Hey guys, this week I wanted to take you down the path of what it takes for camera equipment to kind of have a small or even the big guys type of YouTube channel. It actually isn't as much as you think, and you can get into this, I think, relatively inexpensive, probably for under $1,000. Now, the absolute beginner model, which is what I started with back when I was making shorts, is this gimbal setup with my cell phone. Comes in this pouch, and honestly, I don't even use it anymore, just because I have this camera that I'm shooting on right now. But this is all it is. Ease into your shots. They won't have that kind of jagged, bouncy, it makes everything kind of cleaner and smoother, and it'll keep your phone level. So it makes the shots cleaner, right? And these are, I don't know, 300 bucks. So if you already have an iPhone, it doesn't have to be a Pro, you can just buy one of these, put your phone in it. Now the thing is, you want to have it so it's like almost level. This is what it looks like. So if I move my arm left to right, it just holds it straight. And then if I double tap, power button, puts it in landscape. So as you can imagine, you have this. You can take some really clean shots with it. And it also can take the mics that I have on here, which I'll explain here in a minute. These mics can also plug into your phone. And you literally have a creator setup with something you probably already have in your pocket. This, very easy. Definitely, if you're going to do a channel, boom, just buy one of these. You're done. This and the mics, good to go. Now, right now, I'm shooting 4K at 30 frames per second. This camera that I'm talking on right now can do up to 60 frames per second, which is pretty insane, honestly. Thing is, it just takes so much space to do 60 frames per second, so I just keep it at 30 because the quality is very high and I don't use as much data and battery to do it. But going on to this is the Insta360. I've had this for a couple years. So if you're not familiar with it, it has a camera on each side, and I can get a kind of dome shot, or I can zoom in on a shot. Pretty much can look at any angle. I honestly don't use this that much except for some of my fishing videos. Sometimes I'll put it on the window for when we're driving, so I can kind of look around with the camera or do like a time lapse. I chose to go this route instead of a GoPro. GoPro is a good tool to have, but this I can use as a GoPro because I can use just one side of the camera, or obviously, like I said, the 360. So for me, it just felt like I was getting a little bit more by going with the 360. But I don't think the quality may be as high as the GoPro, just from what I've seen for people that do use a GoPro. And I may get a GoPro down the road. I don't really know. Right now, we're trying to keep it as small as possible. But I bought this bike mount too for it, which I've literally put on a float boat, on a drift boat. Put that on the bar. I also have a selfie stick, which I'm using on this camera in front of me right now, that I can plug into this, so I can stick it up above me and just have it follow me. Kind of looks like a drone shot. This guy. Everybody seems to love this guy, and I hardly ever break him out. This is my DJI Mini 2. It's a 249 gram drone, and if you keep it under that certain weight limit, you don't need special requirements to fly it. I do have my FAA license to fly this. It's not very hard. You can do it online. But anyway, this takes some really good shots. Also 4K, shoots 30 frames per second, so everything's kind of on the same playing field format-wise. I'm not really crazy into editing. If you've noticed my videos, I mostly just kind of chop out the stuff I don't want. I'm not really doing any color shading. If you've watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to make videos, right? You see a lot of people do this like demapping. It's just so much work. And honestly, for the style of videos that I make, where it's more or less just vlogging, I feel like, yeah, is it beautiful? Of course. And maybe will I play with it if I have some cool shots to take that I want to put in a video? Maybe I'll go down that road, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you're going to make videos, just make them. They all take these micro SD cards too. I'll link these in the description. This one's only 128 gig, but the one that's in this camera right now is, I think it's like 500, 5 something. My drone comes with just a regular remote, so I have to take my phone, put my phone on top, link it with a cord. Some of them that you buy do have the screen in them. Is it better? Probably, but it also costs more money. But I think this is probably one of the most powerful tools you can have in your toolbox when it comes to building videos, especially as a beginner. This is the DJI Mics. This is the first gen. I pre-ordered these back when they first came out. They do have a second gen now that I would like to upgrade to, because then you don't need, there's a receiver that goes on the back of my camera. I wouldn't need that piece. It would just be able to link via Bluetooth. but nonetheless, having the audio makes it just so much better, and your qualities of your videos are just a next step up. Plus, if you wanted to set your camera up, you can talk from 10, 15, 20 feet away and still have very clear audio. And this comes with different adapters. So right now I have the USB-C, but it even has a lightning adapter for your iPhone. You don't have to do anything special. You literally just plug it right into your iPhone, plug it in, and it works. It does. You don't need to go in and set any type of different settings at all, which is why I like using these things. So you may have noticed a little bit of a trend, and there's a little bit more to that as well, is that most of these products are DJI. Now that is a Chinese company. I wish there was a good American company that I could buy this stuff from, but if I did, it would probably be 10 times the cost if it does exist. They do make this stuff super easy to use. I'm no tech professional, and I can run any of this equipment kind of seamlessly. So even the camera I'm shooting on right now is a DJI, which I'll show you right now. So as you can see, this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it's literally that. It has a built-in gimbal on it, so kind of like the phone gimbal I have, but this is just all in one. I just grab this and go. And this is the receiver on the back that I was talking about that I have to plug in, which plugs into my phone as well. It's something super simple. I have it on a tripod. I can just take it with me, set it up. I can get some pretty cool shots walking by. It also has tracking features. I can zoom in. I can even take 9x16, so I can take like Reels or TikTok videos with it. It literally can do just about anything you want it to do. Nothing that my phone can't do either. You don't need to have this camera. This camera costs about $500, which I thought was pretty reasonable. I think it was like $520. You know, you can't really beat it to have, if you're gonna start doing and you wanna make some real videos that are kind of strategic and you wanna build a channel, I think starting with one of these Pocket 3s is kind of an essential tool. Paired up with these mics, I mean, these are $300 probably. So I mean, $800, and I think you could really be on the road to making some pretty good videos, especially if your style is walking and talking. And I've owned this camera since March, and the only issue I've had with it is I've dropped it a couple times, and when you drop it on the gimbal, sometimes it makes the head stick or it can break. Now, they tried to sell me the insurance on it, which was like $350, and I said, well, if it's $350 for the insurance on this thing, I'll just break it and buy a new one for $500. I'll take my chances. And then I literally dropped it like 3 weeks into owning it. Doesn't matter. But the DJI Pocket comes with this case too. So when I'm not using it, I can put this over and try to protect that gimbal as best as possible. Now your boy here doesn't always do that, and it gets beat up. It's the nature of the beast, but it does come with that. Now, if you're using a phone, I also bought this tripod for my phone, and it's literally just has a little clip here. Take my phone, and I can clip it in, and I can set it up anywhere I want, just like I am right now. So this, if you're going to use your phone, I'll link this in the description as well. This is a great tool to have, and they're super cheap, like 20 bucks. Well, that was during COVID. They might be more now. Now, the next step I want to talk about was the editing software that I use. Sorry, just noticed I have a broken wing. When I crashed it with the Hanks out in Wyoming. What I want to talk about next is the software I use to edit the videos. Now, there's so many different ways to do it. I think the easiest thing as a beginner is to do iMovie. Now, if you probably talk to anybody who makes videos, they'll probably just like kind of put their nose up to that, like, no, don't do that. You know, use Adobe Premiere or some other one. Now, I have also been kind of playing and dabbling with Davinci Resolve, but if you're just starting out and you want to take videos of what a day in the life is, so to speak. So if you did videos where you woke up and you do like the quick, brush my teeth to leaving for work, and you have multiple videos that you want in a sequence and you're just compiling them together, iMovie can do that. You can just take the videos, you put them in the timeline. It's really not hard, and I can walk you through that right now. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the back end of my editing as a basically newbie. I mean, I've been doing this on and off for the past couple of years, but I do a weekly video now, and I've been doing that for the past 6 months. Been getting a little bit faster at making videos, but it's still, I think this is something that you just need to learn, and it just takes time. You're not going to be good right off. It might take you a long time right from the beginning to make even a 5 to 10 minute video. Now, someone once told me that it takes an hour per every minute of a video. So if you watch a 20-minute video, it takes 20 hours. And depending on how much editing you can do, it can take that long. For me to edit like a 15 to 25 minute video, on average, it probably takes me like an hour and a half to 2 hours to do something like that. So really, it's not too much. I can do it in my evenings, spare time. But like I said, if I really wanted to amplify it, add a lot of stuff into the videos, transition and overlap and do like a lot of intricate things, it does take a lot of time. So as you can see right now, I have my video, I dragged it, I'm using iMovie. I dragged my video into the library here and I'm just letting it load up. Now, if you don't let it load, it'll be choppy as you try to go through and cut out the stuff that you want to use. So it's just best to wait for all your videos to load into iMovie. I make my own folder. So you open up iMovie, you start a new project, and then I have a solid state drive right here, Toshiba. And this is literally, as you can see here, I have berry bundle videos, 1 through however many every week. I just number it and I put all the raw footage into these buckets. That way there I can drag them into iMovie. Now I know if you don't have a Mac, then this doesn't really apply to you. I know we have our friends at the Silver Rolling Turd, they used an iPad because you can use iMovie on an iPad. Now she's very talented to be able to do that because it's hard enough to do it on a computer. So here we are. This is the raw footage. I have not done any trimming to it at all. As you can see, here I am looking down and I didn't have a hat on and I'm wearing a hat now. So I saw my hair and I said, I want to put a hat on. Is what it is. So basically, I'm kind of prepping, getting stuff. I just had the camera running. Sometimes I just leave the camera running and then I just come back to it and step up in front of the camera. Now, the best way that I've learned how to trim videos is if you look down here at the audio, you can see where I start talking. So I automatically know that I'm going to come in here, Command B to break, and then delete. Click on it, highlight it, and press delete. Now I've trimmed out that whole beginning that doesn't obviously matter. And then you're left with this. Hey guys, this week I wanted to take you down the path of what it kind of takes for camera equipment to kind of have a small or even the big guys type of YouTube channel. It actually isn't as much as you think, and you can get into this, I think, relatively inexpensive, probably for under $1,000. Now, I kind of stumbled when I initially shot this and I only did 1 take. You know, sometimes I just do 1 take, all right? So I'm not really crazy about that, and if you're still here, you're probably like, all right, man, come on, step it up. Now I'm gonna go back and kind of cut out where I say kind of and I kind of stutter a little bit. So if you come up to this little tab right here and I zoom way in, you can really see all of these different vocals, right? So we're gonna go in and let's do a little bit of editing. Half of what takes for what takes Now, as you can see, I'm just going through here and I'm cutting out all the kind of pauses I make. This type of YouTube channel. It actually isn't as much as you think, and you can get into this, I think, relatively inexpensive, probably for under $1,000. Okay. So if you remember what I just said originally, I say kind of, a lot of times when you're talking to a camera, you fill it with ums or other types of words that you're thinking as you're processing. So therefore, I do that a lot, probably because I have like crippling ADHD, unmedicated of course. As I'm thinking and talking, I stumble a little bit. You can go back through and cut those out. When you cut them out, sometimes it might come out a little choppy, but at least you cut out the or the stumble or the stutter. Sometimes you may stutter. Hey guys, this week I wanted to take you down the path of what it takes for camera equipment to kind of have a small or even the big guys type of YouTube channel. It actually isn't as much as you think, and you can get into this, I think, relatively inexpensive, probably for under $1,000. So right there, I think that sounds a little bit better personally. Not kinda and the pauses in between sentences. And as you can see right here, look at this gap from where I was thinking about what my next line was. So I can just scroll over here and pick up where I left off. Now the absolute beginner model, which is what I started with back when I was making shorts, is this gimbal setup with my cell phone. I really don't want to get too in depth with it here for you, but as you can tell, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not adding any transitions, not yet at least. I probably won't in this video because I'm going to transition into you watching me talk right now throughout this end tutorial. But the transitions are up here on top, and you can literally just pick one, and then you just drag and drop it down in the break. Simple as that. That's all you do. What I'm trying to get at with you is, you see I took a 15-minute video. Well, it was actually longer than that. And now I'm just cutting it down into probably 10 usable minutes, maybe less, 8 minutes probably. And it's not that hard. I'm literally hitting Command and then letter B, Command B, Command B, and breaking it up. Super easy to do all these different things. If you want to add music, you go up to audio and video. And I have a subscription to Artlist. Artlist is really cool. It's $10 a month. So I've actually spent $25 a month on this channel for the last 6 months. Artlist is $10 a month. And honestly, like, the music's pretty good. You have a ton of different styles, like this one. Stop that. I actually used that in one of my videos one week, now that I've heard it. So these are all copyright-free songs because you're paying for them. So I can use any of these different sounds. I can go to a genre, come over to country. Well, this one's a new one, haven't heard it before. I found a 6-string ticket and jumped that westbound train. You know, you might hear this in a video down the road. Add that one to the favorites. But for the purpose of this video, I can just grab any song here, Montana Backroads, and drag it down here into the audio section, and there it is. It would be playing in the background of the video, which obviously I'm not going to do that here, but that tells you and kind of shows you how that works. Now, if you can just trim, drag and drop, add a few transitions, you know, your title page is right here if you want to put words on the screen. This is very, very basic. You can make some decent videos with it. I've made some pretty cool mashup videos. I brought the drone footage in. I can overlay what they call a B-roll. You can make a B-roll, so if you drag and drop the video on top of the other video, so it's going to go, and then it'll go back to the other video that you put on top. So the one on top is always a video that's going to show on the screen. You can then take the volume and cut the volume out. So if you wanted to draw in like a drone shot on top of me talking right now, I could put the drone shot in here just like I have this video. It would pan to the drone shot, and then I could come up here, hit Control B on that video, cut it out, and then it would go right back to the video of me talking right now. So I'm gonna leave you with that because I think that's quite a bit of information for you to get started. Really, if you wanna do it, just get in here and start playing with it. Feel for you if you don't have a Mac or an iPad or anything to play on iMovie for this video. Like I said, Davinci Resolve is also a great option. It's a little bit more trickier, and even I have to go on YouTube and type in certain prompts that I'm looking for to figure out how to use it. But when you do figure out how to use those more advanced programs, the sky is the limit. You can do so much more, and it's actually a lot easier to use, but it's confusing at first, if that makes sense. So again, guys, thanks. Appreciate all of you that come back every week. If you're new here, please subscribe. We're already halfway to our goal. We hit 500. We really appreciate it. We have some really cool stuff coming up. We've been kind of stationary for the last couple of months after the Brinkley repair. We're going to be doing Yellowstone coming up here in the next couple of months. That's going to be really cool, and it's going to be our first time ever going there. So as always, be safe, and I will see you next time.